loved one. It's TJ, your self healing wellness coach, here to help you expand your mind, heal your body, and feed your soul. There were questions I had about how you can keep yourself full of vitality and energy, even though you're helping someone else, or if you're healing, not healing, but help. Yeah, if you're healing, you are a healing conduit. If you're helping to heal someone else, or if you're taking care of someone else. And there are a few things that I do because this is the space that I am in. First of all, first and foremost, it's important that you realize that you are a healing conduit. You are not the healer. So if you consider yourself, if you like, just think about yourself as the vessel, the hollow bone, if you will, of the healing, so that way you know that you are not the one doing it. You are being used, okay, in the most perfect way to do it. When you go into it with that particular mindset, that kind of helps to relieve your physical body of anything that might be going on with the other person. Okay, it helps you to keep from being drained, because sometimes when people go into it thinking that they are the healer and they are the source of the healing, that can drain your life force. And that is not what you want to do. That can drain your life force. That can have you taking on other people's stuff. That can have you carrying excess weight that is not yours. And who needs that? I have my own. Thank you. So keep that in mind always. And always, I believe in the power of prayer. Always say prayers before you go in, even though you might consider this overdoing it. But to your whatever, your higher source, whatever you call your higher power, say prayers and ask for guidance, protection, and imbuing of love and light. Okay, so that you can have just that coat of armor, if you will, when you go into this particular space of healing and caregiving. Also, what's another thing that I do? I also surround myself in light. Like, I actually visualize myself surrounded in a bubble or an egg of light. And I talk about this all the time, I put a rose right there in my auric field. And when I go into the space of healing and caregiving, I imagine that this rose is dividing into another rose and it's going to the other person. This is what's called a permission rose. This gives this person's energy permission to do what it needs to do, but to stay in its energy, in that person's energetic field. And my rose is so that our roses are like this, like, okay, you have your permission to stay there and you have your permission to stay there, but neither are intertwining and entangling in that way. All right. Another thing that I like to do is, depending on what it is, I will put up mirrors. I'll visualize myself surrounded in disco ball mirrors. So it's a return to sender thing. I don't do it all the time because I don't feel like it's always necessary. You feel into it before you do that. But I like to just put in all of the protocols and safety mechanisms just to make sure that I am healthy enough to facilitate what I need to do to help the other person. And then when I go on about my day, I'm not bogged down and weighted down with whatever was going on with them. But I don't always feel the need to do it. Another thing that I like to do is I like to wear what's called sacred jewelry. I work with crystals, but I like to wear crystals because it's easier. When I am working with someone, and even if not, like if I'm doing videos or something, on my giving hand, I'll wear what I want to send out to the world. If I am working with someone specifically, caring for a family member or anybody, I'll put crystals on based on what I feel into that they might need, whatever medicine they may need, okay? And so in this case, I have, and what I think is really good, this is smoky quartz, and smoky quartz is really good at transmuting negative energy. It's also good if the person is on medication. It helps to absorb any side effects of the medication. So I like to do that. On this hand, I wear what I need for myself, for my own medicine. So right now I'm working with pre-night with epidote. This is a pre-night ring. This is pre-night with epidote bracelet. And pre-night, I'm just going to like read a little bit here. It activates the heart chakra and it helps to stabilize your flow of energy. Okay. And the epidote is protective and grounding. Okay. And it's also a manifestation, a gem for a manifestation. But mostly I do, the main reason I wear this is for the pre-night, which is the green. The epidote is usually like if you see any dark flecks, is the dark flecks inside the stone. But for me, it's mostly the pre-night because it's a healing stone. It's to heal the healer. Okay. I also work with black tourmaline. This is my ride or die protective and grounding stone. Really excellent for absorbing and repelling negative energy. So whatever I am doing, if I'm trying to help someone with an ailment or something like that, any of that is to go into this stone. I like to work with a lot of the black stones, especially this one, to help just protect myself, shield myself from that. Because what happens is when you are in those spaces and you don't put in the proper protocols, you could carry on. You can not only take on maybe some of the illness or any kind of like illness from the stresses from that, and you can also take on like maybe excess weight, especially around your midsection. So this is long enough to kind of hang right there at that midsection. I bought this lanyard. I forget what crystal this is, what stone these are, these little beads. But I got this lanyard off of Amazon, and whatever stone that I need to use, I just click it on this lanyard. I went on YouTube, figured out how to wire wrap stones, wire wrapped it, and I just stick it there, and that's my sacred jewelry. It is a workhorse of mine. I put it on whenever. And it hangs down right there at that belly, where a lot of times we take on excess things right in that belly, in that midsection. So I like to make sure that I protect that area. Now, when I am done, when I get home, for example, or when I just leave that space of caregiving, I just say things like, I return all energy that is not my own to the original owner in its original way, and I restore my own personal high vibrational energy. From the tips of my toes to the tips of my hair strands, I am whole, I am whole, I am whole. That's a real practical, basic way to do it. Another great thing to do for your self-love and self-care is to get into a salt bath. Even if you do like a 5-minute bath, you do that because salt moves energy. And you want to go ahead and do that and just sort of like let go of everything from the day. If you don't feel like getting into a bath, or you don't have a bathtub, or you just don't have time, get yourself some Himalayan salt or Epsom salt, like bars. Like they look like soap, but they're salt. I like to rub this in my hands because your energy, you get energy releases from your hands, the top of your head, and your feet. So you can actually use these things, rub your hands with it. You can rub the bottoms of your feet and rinse them off. And that's another good way to move energy. I have noticed when I have skipped certain steps and not have done those things, I feel pain in my knees. I might have a little bit of back pain, a little bit of shin or ankle pain. That's where it manifests in me. So I thought I would share that because I did get a few questions about this, and I've also seen people posting about this kind of stuff, and I'm like, this is a good time for me to, and I talk about this, several times on my YouTube channel, but this is a good time for me to just repeat it. And, sometimes I, add different things because it's a different set of questions. So you can put it all together and get all the answers on how to protect and hold your energy separate from others while you're trying to do the needful, while you're trying to help others and serve them. I hope this is helpful. Until the next video, live simply and be kind.